Hello there, Delilah here, and today I'm bringing you a special video, a special Thanksgiving themed video about books that I am thankful for. So this is going to be a two-part, possibly three, don't bank me on that, but at least two-part video about books and different things that I'm thankful for. Everybody is doing their thankful videos and I think it's a good idea, so I'm doing one too. And this is going to be a top 10 list and they're in absolutely no particular order. I'm equally thankful for each and every one of them in the same, well, not the same way, but to the same degree of thankfulness. These are all books that I'm either thankful that I have, books that I'm thankful that I've read, or just books that I'm thankful that they're in my life. And these are all going to be, they're not all fiction, they're not all nonfiction, it's like a combination of all the different genres, and so I'm just going to go from there. So let's get started. The number 10 book that I am thankful for is the Question and Answer a Day, 365 questions, 5 years, 1,325 answers, 5-year journal. And I got this off of Amazon, but Barnes & Noble sells it too, and I adore this thing. It's just like a tiny, compact little journal, and it has like gold pages. And every day of the year, it asks a different question, and you fill in what year it is and you answer it. I'm thankful for this because I want to be somebody who journals regularly, and just because of my fritzy mind, I just cannot sit down hours at a time every day and write in a journal. And this makes that so much easier because I can just get one quick thought down, and sometimes I don't even know what to write about. It has a prompt, so I just write 4 or 5 lines and I'm done for the day. So I am super thankful to have this, and I cannot wait to go back in 5 years. This is almost the end of the year, and I've written every day for this year, except for the past couple of days because of exams, but whatever. Anyway, I can't wait to go back over after 5 years and look back on all of my answers. It's gonna be so exciting. The number 9 book that I am thankful for is Meg Cabot's The Mediator #1, Shadowland, or rather, the Mediator series altogether. I only have this one at number 3, so I wasn't going to show you everything, but I'm very thankful for this book particularly and the series, because this is a book that really got me reading again. This was probably, I was probably 13, 14, I don't remember how old I was, but you know how you'll go through dry spells with reading and then you're not interested, and then you read again and then you're not interested. Well, this one in my teens definitely, like, this is my first instance of reading back to back to back to back all the way until the end. I don't do that very often anymore because of just busyness, but every reader loves books that they can just, they're so involved in the world and they just cannot put it down. And this was that for me. And so I am very thankful to Meg Cabot for writing this, and I'm very thankful that this series exists. The number 8 book that I am thankful for is The Use and Training of the Human Voice, A Biodynamic Approach to Vocal Life, the 3rd edition, and this is by Arthur Lesac. And as you can see, it's spiral bound, and you know how important books are to me when I spiral bound them, okay? Taking it to Staples and getting the edge chopped off and spiral bound, it means I'm committed. I actually had to buy this for a class, for a voice and speech class in the theater department when I was in my undergrad, and I bought it with the intention of studying vocal work because I had interests and intentions of going into voice acting. And while that ended up not really being a possible route for me, I'm still very thankful that I took that class and that I read this book, and to the teacher who taught it, because even if you don't go into acting, even if you don't necessarily have a reason to, you can improve your voice so much with this book. Like, my speech is a lot more clear, and I pronounce words better now. I know, you probably couldn't tell because of the way I talk when I'm on YouTube, and I'm not very articulate. But I've noticed after taking the class, when I read things out loud, or when I am, talking to somebody to a certain degree, my speech has improved very well. Like, I project more, and I use my, they're called like the percussion sounds, like the sounds at the end of the word, like the CT in product, like saying like that. Like, I just noticed that my speech is a lot better after taking that class and after using this book, and I think it's really gonna help me when I go into teaching. And so yeah, this book has probably changed my life in a very subtle way, but a very important way. It gave me a voice. The number 7 book that I am thankful for is called Stephen King's On Writing. I know. You knew it was gonna be on here, and I've already said so much about it. If you want to know all of my complete thoughts on it, I have a review. I will probably link it somewhere here in this area. If not, then I will link it somewhere in that area. That's weird. Down below. Anyways, just really quick, it changed my life as far as my writing goes. It changed the way that I thought about writing, and it made life, I won't say easier, but it made it more accessible to me. And I'm super thankful to Stephen King for writing it, and I'm glad that I own it. Now, the next book, I don't know if I'm gonna get flack for saying this, I don't know. People try to keep their personal religious lives separate from their YouTube life or whatever, I don't know. I'm just doing all the books I'm thankful for, and so I'm just throwing it in there. The way, this is my Bible, I have like a million Bibles. I'm looking at them right now. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including this one, 6. I have 6 Bibles. They're all different in some kind of way, and this is the very first one that I bought for myself. It's an NLT Bible, and it has a lot of different kinds of anecdotes in it. I just love it because I can understand it, and because I tabbed all the different books so that I can access them a lot easier, and all of my notes from church and stuff are all marked up in here, and I just love the heck out of this thing. I know a lot of people don't like NLT Bibles, but it works for me. And yeah, my Bible. I'm super happy I have this. It changed my life about a year ago, and I'm never looking back. The number 5 book that I am thankful for is a book that I read this year, and it is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. I'm just thankful that this book exists, and I'm thankful that I own it because this is a book that I feel is so far out of my range of books, and it really opened my eyes to humorous science fiction books as a genre. And while I haven't read extensively in that category as of yet, I think that it's really changed how I go about looking for books nowadays. I don't just go straight to young adult books. I don't just go straight to, love stories or fiction or whatever, fiction that's, made about fantasy things. I don't know. But it changed how I go about looking for books. I kind of browse all the different sections of Barnes & Noble now, rather than just going straight to one section. And I'm really thankful that that happened because it's opened my eyes to a lot of new things. The number 4 book that I am thankful for this season is William Goldman's The Princess Bride. I read this when I was in high school. Thank you to the teacher who signed this for me. We read a lot of really good books that year, and this was one of them, of course. I am thankful for this book because it really opened my eyes to kind of like those meta situations where it's like a story within a story within of storyception, you know, that kind of thing. I'm thankful for that, and I'm thankful that it made fantasy storytale like stories interesting and accessible to me, because at that age I was just not about that life. I was not into stories about princesses and dudes going and sword fighting and pirates, and I was just not into that. I was not into that at all, and this made me more interested in more adventure tales and things that didn't necessarily happen within the modern time. And so I'm thankful that I got to read this when I did. The number 2 book that I am thankful for is another book that I read this year, and that one is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. All of those have specific reasons why I'm thankful that I read them, but this one does not. I'm just thankful I read this thing because it made me happy and I loved it and it makes me smile. That's why I'm thankful for this book. If you haven't read it yet, what are you waiting for? The number 2 book that I am thankful for this season is called The Metamorphoses by Franz Kafka. I know that I don't usually talk about books like this. I guess it's considered a classic. I don't really talk about classics on my channel because I don't really read them anymore. But I read this my second or I don't know what year it was, but I read this in my undergrad, and it was like an intro lit class, and I was struggling. I was struggling in that class because I just felt like everything that we read was so uninteresting and so boring and had nothing to do with my life. And then we read this thing. And we also read another book by Kafka. Do I still have it? Yeah, I do, but I can't reach it. That year we also read The Trial by Kafka, and I loved that one just as much as well. But The Metamorphosis was really good. I loved it because that was the first book that I actually could latch onto and really understand all the different metaphors and the different symbolism inside of it, and it was easier to read than all of those books at the time, which is interesting, and it was short. Metamorphosis, Kafka, dude turns into a bug. Like, come on. That has to be interesting, right? That's interesting. And the number 1 book is Skywater by Melinda Worth Popham. I've not mentioned this before, but this is a book about coyotes and the adventure of some coyotes to search for fresh resources and pretty much just leaving their usual place. The reason why I am thankful for this book is because I was aware of the arc of the hero's journey, but it never really sunk in until I read Skywater and all the different details that go along with studying the hero's journey led to a lot of really good things in my own writing. This book had an immense influence on the way that I write or the way that I go about crafting my stories, and so I could not leave it off this list. So yeah, I'm really thankful that the book Skywater exists and that coyotes took a journey. So that's it for my top 10 list of books that I am happy that I bought, or books that I'm happy I own, or books that I'm just happy that I read. I hope you enjoyed that list, and I hope that there was enough variety on there that you can see that I'm not just picking the same old kinds of books over and over and over again. I know that I only have a limited amount, but whatever. What are you thankful for? I know a lot of people are doing this, so if you have a video, go ahead and link it to me below, and I'm excited to see yours. And I'll have another video up in, I'm not sure, but it should be soon, and it will be about my manga, anime, animation, and comics. So look forward to that if you are a fan of those kinds of things, and I will see you next time. Bye!